Okay, what do we have? Curse skills in Path of Exile Heist. In Path of Exile Heist, we are making some changes to curses to provide incentive to self-cast them. We made some small changes to existing curse mechanics, improved their visuals, and added one new curse skill. That's a new curse? I don't remember seeing that before. An overview of curses. Curses are among some of the first skills that we are introduced to Path of Exile. Over time, we introduced a number of ways to take advantage of their mechanics, like blasphemy, which creates a curse aura, adding the ability to apply curses with the curse and hit support. While having a number of methods of applying curses is certainly a good thing, there was a lot of automatic cursing going on. And we wanted to give some incentives to those who wanted to take the time to actually cast curse manually on a pack of monsters. I mean, it's an incentive to just kill the automatic cursing. But I guess, yeah, we'll see how it goes. While we're doing this, it felt like a good opportunity to review all curse gems and see what other improvements could be made. We were going to see if we could add any new curses to the pool, but found that current set of curses already covers pretty much every niche we wanted. There definitely aren't many new curse types you could add. However, this didn't stop us from making other gems that could interact with them in some way. To this end, we've added one new skill gem, one new support, reworked a number of curse skills, and improved their visual effects. Curse type. Curses are now divided into hexes and marks. Assassin mark, warlord's mark, poachers, and something. We tried to make them feel distinct while still sharing some identifiable properties of being a curse. Isn't it amazing to have this basically the same thing being split in two now to confuse the newer players even more? It's great. Hex spells apply curse debuffs to each enemy in an area. If the spell was self-cast, the debuff will gain doom over time up to its maximum. The effect of the curse is increased by the amount of doom it has. So, okay, so it has a cap. The doom has a cap. So it doesn't continue forever if you have a very high duration, okay? The curses that are now considered hexes are Vulnerability, Frostbite, Conductivity, Elevate, Vuln, Despair, Tempt Change, Enfeeble, and Punishment. Marks. Apply the curse debuff on a single target and cannot be applied to more than one target. We've created new passive skills that apply specifically to marks and marked enemies. We're aiming to move marks towards being more dexterity aligned as a mechanic, so these passives will closer to range or in the passive tree. Curses that are considered marks are warlords, poachers, assassins, and snipers. He has a projectile weakness. Huh. So does this mean that they're making these stronger because they are for single target purposes? Also, I wonder if these are gonna still exist. Especially this fucker here. If this is still gonna exist in a curse and hit ring. Because I think a lot of people think that's a massive nerf. But you don't really need Assassin's Mark for trash. You just need it for the boss. I'm sure it gives can give you some, for most builds at least. You can still get power charges from this. Especially, like, I would assume that they're gonna buff the chances of getting the charges from these because it's a single target now. But I guess it's a nerf for like it's certainly a nerf for some builds, but I also think it's a massive buff to others. Thinking about clear, like builds that are made literally too clear, where Assassin's Mark is used, like, I don't know, like Herald builds maybe? I guess this is a big nerf for Herald builds. Yeah. Impending Doom, Doom Blast. Impending Doom is a support gem that can support hexes. When the supported hex expires or is removed in any way, it triggers a Doom Blast, which causes a chaos explosion. The more Doom the supported hex built up before its expiration, the greater damage the explosion will deal. Interesting. I wonder if this is gonna work with Bane. I don't think it's going to, but it sounds cool. Need to see numbers. They said no. Okay, yeah, makes sense. Makes sense also because Bane and like Slinger doesn't work together because they're both considered like a trigger. There are a number of ways to cause the explosion to occur. At most basic level, you can simply kill a monster with a supported hex. However, there are many other ways you can cause a hex to expire, but that's an exercise that will leave you to figure out. Also, I'm assuming trigger socketed spells craft also doesn't allow you to do this. You actually have to manually cast it yourself. Which is a good thing. That's like literally what they're going for, right? Hand casting. Hex Blast. This is a new skill gem that calls down a beam of chaos damage on the target. If the target is cursed with a hex, it consumes that hex and causes a shockwave around that enemy. Similar to Impending Doom, the more doom the support hex built up, the greater damage the skill deals. Although Hexplos is a chaos damage spell, it has some elemental theme properties that make it special. For one, the damage it deals has the ability to ignite, shock, or freeze. Secondly, it deals damage based on the lowest resistance the enemy has. Huh. Vixen is a trigger. That is very, very weird. And makes it kind of bad for Despair. But, I mean, it's certainly interesting at least. Oh, you mean for just removing the first curse? Yeah, okay, I see. You should be able to, by having Blasphemy, like have one Blasphemy curse and then you cast another curse, like self-cast a curse on an enemy. It should cause the explosion because there is a split second where the new curse is applied before the Blasphemy puts it back. It should work, but I don't know how it's coded. And it's very easy to test, right? But it could be. I think I'm expecting you to be able to have, like, you could have like Blasphemy and Feeble, and then you just cast a curse like Despair to, you know, reduce the resistance, and then you get boom because the Enfeeble automatically replaces it after. I'm expecting that to be a case. We'll have to wait and see though. Or ask them. Punishment. Punishment has now changed to provide a benefit for greater variety of builds. It no longer causes you to gain bonuses when monsters hit you, but instead causes monsters to take increased damage when they are on low life. Synergizes with the second effect that punishment now applies, which causes monsters to explode, dealing a percentage of your overkill damage to monsters around them. So this is talking about the damage that you dealt on them, not the punishment. It's kind of like a Herald of Ash, but a curse. In addition, if cursed monsters hit you, take the deep. Oh, yeah, that deep cause enemies to deal less damage here. It's a really interesting curse. Really interesting curse. And it seems to be a 100% chance to have the explosion. Yeah, of course. If they're talking about the blasphemy shit, it depends on how good the numbers are, and if it can work without having a crazy duration. It's thinking about like just from a clear point of view. These changes to punishment make punishment much more useful and more well-rounded curse with mostly offensive capabilities as well as defensive component. Yeah, that's kind of cool. It is kind of cool, yeah. Is getting Doom at a fixed rate? I assume it's a fixed rate. Like every second or something, up to like 10 seconds max or something like that. I don't know. Yeah, it causes the monsters to explode, so the corpse is removed, yes. It doesn't cause an explosion, it causes the monster to explode. So yeah, this is a curse removal, corpse removal mechanic. Punishment cursion hit rings when I'm expecting to see punishment being used in the delving race. Sniper's mark to be revealed later. Existing marks. All markers have been rebalanced to be more suitable for a single target. In addition, the curse penalty that is found on many bosses in the endgame no longer applies to marks and only applies to hexes, allowing marks to apply to these bosses at their full power. Oh. That's kinda nice. Want to buy a Chaos Mark? Death Mark is a mark skill. But it wasn't considered cursed, so it never had the issue with them. But it could be interesting with the future mark nodes in the skill tree. Other small changes. We have also made some smaller changes to radius values. Oh god, this sounds. They're gonna nerf the AoE. Bonuses that certain curses give, and some additional quality stats. You'll find these changes outlined in the patch notes. Okay. In addition to these changes, there will be some passivity adjustments and new keystone that changes how self-cast curses apply their debuffs. So I'm assuming... No, wait. They're debuffs. This isn't talking about the Doom now. I was about to say the Doom starts with max potency and then over time it goes down, but no. That looks cool. Wait, so what's the difference? The temp change, I think. I mean, other than of course, it's just on one target, right? I like the beam from the sky. Bzzz. Okay, it doesn't look like it's getting rid of the corpses. That's kind of sad. That's kind of sad. Especially because the wording here was... Instead curses monsters to take increased damage when they're low. This synergizes with the second effect that punishment now applies, which causes monsters to explode. It didn't look like there was an explosion either, yeah. EQ one-shot them anyway, so can't really see the effect. No, but there's still an like if you one-shot them, right? That makes overkill damage. That causes the explosion. So if the monsters were actually exploding, the corpse shouldn't be there. But it definitely looked like, you know, maybe they made it so that the explosion doesn't chain. So if another monster dies by the overkill damage that was caused from another monster exploding, it can't explode. And that would only mean that only like if one mob dies, that explodes, and then the rest die, but they don't explode because the explosion could have killed them. I don't know. So if you kill the target with one shot, when it had the curse, it should explode because there's an overkill then. Well, I'm assuming the punishment explosion is considered your damage as well. Okay, what is this? Big patch for Mark, sneaking himself into the game even more. Will Death Mark be modified that became a mark now? Yes, okay. Under the new rules, we can only have one mark. Oh, goodness. I want to see that. That better be a video like the boss video. You know, the bosses dueling each other kind of video. Nice. Is this the risky click of the day? Oh god. Yeah. Well, honestly, I don't know how to feel about them splitting curses into hexes and marks. Not from the like the game perspective. Like, I think it's kind of like it's cool that they are separating them from the so that they can balance the hexes and the marks differently now, because they can make the marks more single target oriented, right? It's a huge nerf to all marks. That's not true. Especially if they buff the numbers. It's a massive buff to single target, which is for a lot of builds the issue, not the clear. Trash clear, it's whatever for most builds. There are definitely builds that do get hit by this change. And yeah, you have full effect on the marks on the bosses. I'm especially interested in the sniper's marks right now, because that's what the low life ball lightning guardian can use. And now it don't have a penalty. No more assassins mark 4 chance in. Not necessarily true. They can up the chance that you get a power charge when you kill a marked enemy with it. And you can still have permanent charges. You guys are just assuming that they are not changing the values at all. And even if they don't change the values, what assassin marks chance is like... Like... There's a fucking 30% chance to get a power charge when you kill an enemy. What the fuck? How slow are your builds? Like, what the fuck? You don't need to kill 10 monsters to sustain your power charges with this. The base power charge duration is 10 seconds. And this is without knowing how they're changing this. I think in a lot of cases this is a massive buff. Of course, it's not in all cases. Like mentioned, the Herald Bomber. Yeah, please move overcharge back to where it was. Thank you. Like, is there actually somebody who thinks that you can't sustain your 3 power charges with killing a monster with... If you, let's say that you have a assassin's mark on hit on your ring still. Immediately when one monster dies that had the curse, it's on another monster. You need to hit the 30% chance. Well, it's not like it's like level 20. So like let's say 25% chance. So like the average, if you kill 5 monsters in 10 seconds, get it. Yeah. Assuming the we're assuming that the on curse on hit ring etc. is gonna stay. I wouldn't be surprised to see the rings going though. We'll just have to wait and see. They left us kinda hanging here, which is a bit annoying, but not exactly new from GGG. I'm assuming this will still be both scaling from curse effect. It's just that curse effect, so curse effect applies to hexes and to marks. But then there could be like hex specific nodes that don't apply to marks, and there could be mark specific nodes that don't apply to hexes. Kind of like elemental damage applies to fire, cold, and lightning, but lightning doesn't apply to cold and fire. That's my guess. Or they remove curse effect entirely, and they will just do hex and mark effect with 2 different lines or something like that. But I don't know if they're gonna do that. I wouldn't. Oh yeah, I would not be surprised if there was a way to apply more than 1 mark as well, or make it be to like have some benefit from monsters nearby, or something like that. Just wondering about the class tools. Yeah, you're thinking about like unnerve, etc. Unnerve and calm and whatnot with curses. I'm expecting all of these to still have a curse tag. But yeah, either way, I kind of like it, but at the same time, when it comes to just keeping the game clear, I mean, this is, I guess, making it more complicated, or at least convoluted. And I'm very, very curious about the impending doom, hex blasts, and then punishment rework. Bane is considered a trigger, so you can't like do the impending doom explosion with it. Or like the doom shit. Yeah. How you guys think about them?